Hello and welcome again to Steve's Longstay Vintage Radio Workshop, and this is what some of us call a Shango special. These come from Hong Kong, early to mid 70s, well maybe late 70s as well with these. They look to be a lot more than they are. This is 5-wave band apparently. But 4 according to that, and a lot of these things on the front here, like aircraft and police and that, aren't on these bands anymore, but they're still usable despite that. And for example, FM, for example, on these, they used to put them on top end of VHF, but they've been moved from there now, so they're not there anymore, which shows how old this thing is. Actually about 1975 I think, this one. But with these, joking aside with these, most of the problems we get with them are either capacitors being old, or more than that are actually sliders, unless somebody had done something really stupid with it inside, or connected the mains across the battery terminal or something like that. Generally there's very little goes wrong with them, and so they're quite good as workshop sets or whatever. But often they are worth doing up, and they are worth finding any faults with. This one is battery mains. I've plugged it into the mains here, and so therefore we do that.
A young girl who was being horrifically abused by the 9 men in the dock. She was a girl from Telford.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, this thing does apparently work on VHF at any rate. On FM, there should be
And
VHF. There's something there, but don't know what. We don't have things like this is only a test like Shango used to have. Okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, and just singing. But I just think sometimes it brings me to tears. It's such a beautiful song, you know. I love you just the way you are, no need to change, you know. It's just love.
The bottom of that obviously is this carries on from 108 upward. Okay. Now also this shortwave, which is there, okay, and it appears to be completely dead. Hang on. Similarly, and AM, yes.
The corner. So we've got full contra on Aston Villa West Ham on 5 Live tomorrow night in the FA Cup. Wickham Portsmouth
Seems to be alive as well. So basically, this one, although it might seem to work, obviously with this one there's things that need to be looked at, and so look at them we must. He said, taking the plug out It's one of those, is it? Okay, fair enough. I'll leave that. Now, with these on the back here, there's these, and that lifts up part of the back where the where that is. That's in here. That is the battery terminal in there. Now the rest of it we get to by undoing these two screws here. With something the right size. That might do it, I think. Okay, so that one comes out. That one comes out. This one comes out. Like that. And the whole lot comes up like that. Now, with that up, we can get access to most but all of this this PCB in here. We'll lift that out like that, and there is the way. There is the PCB in all its glory. Okay, so there is no way of finding a circuit for this, so but looks like we're on our own here. But in this situation, first thing we do is we think, right, well, that's the wave change switch there, we know that, yeah. That's the tuning there, okay. Rest of it on the front here, and that as well. I will probably do those from the front actually, and put some contact cleaner in there, which might improve things there. This is better than most, I must say. Some of these really are bad. This one isn't too bad, but generally speaking, they do work, and they continue working as well, despite various things that happen with them, like transistors off the workshop floor and that sort of thing. This looks like it's NPN transistors. So again, they're all okay in this, so you know it's probably not going to be an issue. So it's oscillator, IF, IF, IF. Down here there's the two transformers, and output and preliminary output are down here. Like that. And so we know more or less what's what. Now these have two capacitors, tuning capacitors in them. So I don't know quite what's what here, but we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Yeah, so it's down here for the diodes. Push-pull output here, basically what they are. That, and then it comes out to the speaker. So it's fairly well built, this actually, compared to some of them. But I cannot tell what or who made it, so we really are on our own in that way. Yes. Yeah, so yeah. Speaker's okay. That's the main transformer there, next to the speaker. There's the smoothing caps there. That's the diode for it there. See, if you look through a circuit, you can find out pretty much where everything is, which is important before we go anything else. So, do we need to take this one apart? all the way. Well, I don't know as of yet. I really don't. But we'll find out sooner or later. By the way, this one doesn't have long wave on it, which is surprising. So it might well have been one for the British, European and American market. Because America, they don't use long wave. They use broadcast band, which have medium wave in it. Long wave is used at the coast for coastal repeaters and things like that. So there's no problem there. Now that's okay. So we'll leave that as it is. So I'll start by cleaning up all the socket, all the switches, this one as well, and on the front, and we'll take it from there. Now then, this is contact cleaner. It's not the one that I would normally use, but this stuff actually is pretty good. So do that. And okay, fine. So basically it's a 5-band receiver masquerading as considerably more, which is something that these do. So that's something, you know, which we have to deal with on these. So turn it around. Okay, so we'll give that a second to dry, and we'll try it again and see what it's like now. Nice, whatever it is.
Is hilariously those compied blister patches. They're like so small.
Playing in the big stadiums, it's sort of like you know, that sort of experience you get playing, you know, in the league. It's like, right, we'll go and clap them and then get off. You don't, you know, sort of say thanks for support and that sort of thing, because, you know, with the fans in non-league are the absolute bloodline of everything, and a lot of them are
to require. So to put it simply, this is quite a change.
Yeah, been here at the end. Back up the band. This is nice radio actually.
Cat's huge.
But it does everything it says on the tin, you know, which is really all you need.
From Henry, where you got all the components, you made the radio up.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then finally getting a signal, and probably listening to them on Radio Victor or something like that, an AM sound of that piping through, and then years later picking it up in a record shop, and playing it on the sound. So it kind of came with me, you know, part of the journey.
concede a second. If they do, that realistically would be game over. Patterson nudges the ball with the out to the feet of Beto, crosses from the dead ball line, right angle, double deflection on it.
This is actually quite sensitive as well.
He's the one that makes the run into the...
The other thing I'm a little bit concerned about here, and I'm going to have a look and check it, is the aerial, because I get the impression that the aerial is not doing what it should, as it were. So I'll check that very quickly. I'll bring it by, put it up part of the way, and again we'll switch it on and we'll see what it has to say for itself. Marine bunny sort of, if you're dead, aren't they?
Nip in and win the ball, trying to dribble out of trouble, runs into Armstrong. Now Nevitt.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned about shortwave and marine bandy. I think they're, generally speaking, again, there probably isn't a problem, but I'm going to check that very carefully, and I'll do that by we'll put that to around 6 megs or so, like that. 6. Something like that, okay. And we'll split 6 megs at it and we'll see what it does. Right, well at this stage I've got 6 megs blasted into the thing by the aerial there. So if I was to switch it on here, which I'll do like that. Let's see if it's going to do anything for us. I'll just well, that seems alright, doesn't it? Well, that's this sorted. By the way, these are very sensitive. I don't know what that is, and I can't pick it up properly on any other setting here. But I don't know what it is. It works on all bands apart from shortwave, which I'm not really going to bother on this. So I've not got a circuit for it, so you know I can only go so far. Anyway, that is one of those, and they're very interesting sets actually, and they're very and these sets, these Hong Kong sets of this era, they are in fact better than many people think. But if you want to go and really go to the bottom of the barrel, we can do that too. Exactly, one of those. And this particular bottom of the barrel set is one of those which looks to be something which is more expensive than it actually is. It's an Amstrad, it's from 1979, and it does absolutely nothing at all. Nothing, absolutely nothing at all on this. I mean, absolutely nothing. So, as always, let's have a look and see what's going on here. This set also, by the way, is made in Hong Kong. Amstrad, they used to say the stuff was made in Britain, but it wasn't. It was put together in Britain, but it was actually made in Hong Kong. So, you know, the hi-fis as well, you know, the computers I'm told aren't that bad, but the radios, they're something which people, well, I shan't say don't talk about in polite conversation, but they're not brilliant. They work, that's all I can say for them. But this one, at the moment, it doesn't. So you can work out really why that is. Map of the world on the back, like I said, and there's also one of these time of day things. So you set it for your current time of day, and you can work out the time anywhere on the globe, which is an interesting idea. It doesn't cost very much, but you know, it makes the set seem more than it actually is. So yeah. Anyway, this seems to be stuck up actually. So let's have a think and see the best way to do it. Got it. Right. So now this will come up, and inside it's a similar sort of arrangement. Different board, but a similar sort of arrangement. As you will see, if I was to do something like that, as you can see there, it's a similar sort of arrangement, although this one doesn't seem to want to do very much for us right now, for one reason or another. The front here, there's a DC-A switch which isn't too, neither of them feel happy actually. I switched it to AC down here, and power on, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. Absolutely not. This, by the way, 2 shortwave bands, a marine band, the medium wave, long wave and FM, and although that needs to be replaced, I should be getting something on it, but we're getting absolutely diddly squat. Absolutely no. So let's have a little see. First of all, the fuse in the plug is okay. It's 13 amp, but I'll live with that because I'm that sort of guy. And we'll see. First of all, coming down here at the bottom of the board, like that, the 2 diodes there. That's the first place we'll look. We'll see if there's anything anything happening there. If there isn't, then yeah. So anyway, it should be about. I'll put meter on 20 volts DC, and we'll go across and see what we can find, if anything, down here. Because there must be something somewhere. There has to be. These, by the way, the capacities in these, generally speaking, only replace them if you have to, because they're putting okay. I notice also that there's a tuning slug here which are not being put in straight from new, so again when they get into a set like this, you realise just how cheap Amstrad were and could be. These switches here, all they are, it's prongs coming up from the printed circuit board and that which goes between them, and they're both tarnished to hell. So I'll de-tarnish those, have a look round, and then we'll try it again. And so with the WD-40, which is not a WD-40 in this case, I can make those two get absolutely drenched in it like that, and then do that a few times. And again, we'll try it and see if that does now. It does something which it doesn't want to do. Simple thing, you know, working. There we are, that's something. I think we'll have a look at that as well, shall we? Now, there's wave change switch on this. If you look at the circuit, if you look at the board, which I'll do for you one way or the other, plug the other. like that. It is this here. So next thing we do is make sure this switch here and this all works okay in here. So again, it's probably a bit more spraying around in here. So I'll do that, then we'll try it again. Now again, I don't want to take this off because of all the soldering connections underneath, so I'll do that and then try it. Yeah, well, that's doing nothing. I'm doing absolutely nothing. Let's try it on FM, whichever way it is. I know it's one end or the other, so doesn't want to do anything, that, does it? Okay, well, we'll start with medium wave, and we'll work our way through on medium wave, and we'll find out where it's decided not to do what it should be doing, which is, of course, as you know, working. Demo full, okay, and we'll find out where it is and isn't working. So next thing we do in this case is make sure that the IFs are okay. I've been into my archive, by the way, and I've found the circuit of this radio. It's an Amstrad radio model 6411, and it's got all components in it, this, even a tuning string as well, and the alignment instructions, and a copy of the circuit diagram as well. So yes, anyway, So with that in mind, we'll make a start. Now we know first of all that the audio side of it works because I've had it running. Now then, here is the signal generator and the lead, and now looking at the circuit here, we'll start at D7. This circuit isn't the easiest thing to find a way around because it's so small, but I think we'll start at D7. So we'll find D7 on the circuit. That should be fun as well. I mean, it's okay to have a circuit, but it needs to be a lot bigger than that really. But you know, you have what you have. You know, that's the way it is. I'm surprised I got that actually, to be honest with you, you know, but there you go. So let's look for D7, shall we? D8. So at some point there should be a D7. Which is somewhere around here. Yeah. So it's one controls down here, so it comes up here, and D7 looks as though it could be somewhere. Well, that's D6, so I'll put that there for now, and we'll see where D6 is in the circuit diagram. Because there are in fact two versions of this radio as well, so I don't know how accurate the diagram I've got actually is. Yes, it's one of those sort of jobs, you know the kind. So that's that's 6 or 8 actually, hang on. Well, that's 6 or 8 that. D8, okay, D8, okay. D8, okay, let's find D8 on here. D11, D10. Yeah, so we'll go around there and have a quick look and see what's happening. So, on with the radio. That's okay. Ah. Okay. That's interesting in itself.
The foundation of the entire course of my life.
I found, by the way, I found this working just.
Seen them out of date since they. That's a lot of it. And there's one particular program that really piqued my interest.
This is a door.
Yes, this is a door.
I think but stop before you get a copyright strike. Yeah, it appears here to be some sort of system whereby that's the aerial there, which I need to replace actually, but it is working still, goes through this lot here. So if I have to put it back on again now,
When she... 2006, John Escombe interviewed her his oral history collection.
The values that the Germans had capitulated.
Hostilities will end officially at 1 minute after midnight tonight, Tuesday, the 8th of May.
Helping people in Europe field. Lessons on the radio. It was working in a house near London.
Around.
What was the atmosphere like?
Pretty. Bush house, felt it.
right, okay. Well, in that case, let's have a...
Sounded like?
T973, one of one.
This is the oldest example I could track down. It's from...
Now, in these situations, it could be anything. These sets have this sort of gel on them, which sometimes goes conductive. But in this case, I think the problem is due to dry joints, which are underneath there. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll get underneath with the soldering iron and see if I can make that rather better. This one, by the way, has only got one rather than two on the last one, so everything is on this here. So
of the 2 stars
right,
on
well,
their visits abroad.
I've resoldered
and they've been received on the
board
continent
here.
with
A lot better than that. Not quite right, but getting there. Now, if I was to go now to medium wave, which we have just now.
France, Switzerland, Germany, in brackets 3 times, and Holland, in brackets, where they were invited to make pop records.
That's new.
5 times. On their last visit to North Holland, a crowd of 10,000
That's
people.
long wave.
What?
Is the blueprint around how to play against Australia. I think you have to stand up and play toe to toe. I think you have to play quite.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Sometimes with a set like this, when you find one fault and another one comes to light, you get into a situation where fault after fault appears. And another one did appear on this due to, frankly, crappy wiring. But something else with this, by the way, there's not many bad joints on this, but that's long wave.
Right,
that's medium wave. Okay. Now, I can turn on FM quite well, but there's a slight problem here, and that is that if I pull that down a bit, there's no trouble, but if I let it go, it comes out alpha. At least all the things it could be, but when it's stable, it works okay, as you can hear. Now, to look under there, I have to take this off, that's off, the string, everything. In a situation like this, quite frankly, if working, that'll do. Because if you take all that off, you go into it, go and find a great load of trouble. So sometimes something has to be left as it is, because it does work, and that really is all you can do. It all does it on FM actually. On medium wave and long wave it doesn't. So now I've got to put this back down in place and test it again. And then of course we've got this to deal with. This is the aerial for it here, and unfortunately, apart from this bit here, the rest of it is missing, which probably is why, although it sounds okay on FM, shortwave is virtually dead. So I have to find an aerial to go in there as well. Here is the set working away on the bench. I'll have to go back in actually because of that, in the tuning dial there. I should have cleaned the case really, but I was in a bit of a rush. Anyway, they didn't need to come off actually, so I'll put them back on. Now as far as the aerial's concerned, oh yeah, first of all, this particular one, VHF is only part of this band here. FM is there, aircraft band is there, okay? And those few down here are shortwave. The shortwave are not getting anything, probably because of that being off, which I'm going to find a replacement for and put it in. Then of course I gave it a clean, and we're all there with this. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be actually, this. So the comment about going to the bottom of the barrel, well, maybe that's not the case with these. They're not brilliant by any means, but they work fairly well actually. The inside of that is now clean, and even with it what remains of the aerial in place, it's here, it still performs very well on the VHF, as you can hear there. You know.
It just everything,
That tune knob is still dodgy, but nothing I can do it taking the whole radio apart, which I'm not going to do. So yeah, it's a medium wave. It's actually very sensitive, this.
It would open you up. So I know first you're not going to have a lot.
That's 5 live there.
When you do have the ball, you're going to cause Liverpool problems.
Long wave.
He couldn't stop thinking about it.
Maybe 4. There is something on the ring band, as you can see. Shortwave, which also is alive. So yeah, it's quite an interesting set, this thing. One or 2 ways. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, I will remember that. Yeah, okay. So now, of course, we've got to go and get one of these. And we have one of these. This is the aerial that's going to go into here. I'm going to need a little bit of work, I think, to make it go through, but I think we can do it. So first thing we need to do is get this off the bottom here, because it might slide through that way. If it does, then we're laughing, you know. I'll slide from the top. We'll see what it'll do first of all. If it won't, then we've got to widen that hole there. Okay, you see, this aerial was not from this radio, and so it has to be modified somewhat to fit. So, like I said, it doesn't go through. I've tried. It doesn't go through at all. So we've got to find out why that is, and modify that to go in there on this case to take this aerial. It is aerial fitted and working rather well, I would say. That's FM.
But that's not the main
long
reason
way,
I
which
thought,
is good actually.
It's on 7 under par. Sean Murphy.
He's doing rather well for itself in medium wave too.
Thank you for getting out of that mess. Right now, tomorrow. TalkSport, check out the TalkSport Gold podcast channel, available where you get.
So there we are. That's this one fixed and sorted. And so with this one now, with it nicely fixed and sorted, we now go on to the real crap. This isn't so bad. I'll say this isn't so bad. But there are some radios out there which take badness to a new low. This looks like one of those 4-wave band radios, but it's only medium wave and long wave. So this is crap, pretending to be crap basically. This is called a satellite receiver. Yeah, I don't know what quite it is, but it's appears been made for the British market, judging by the dial. It's like medium wave and long wave, so it's won't get a lot on it now, but we'll try our best. Inside, by the way, if you look, that looks to me like what we see in a lot of the other radios of this type. It's a basic belt, well, very basic transformers. I think they're there till they can there, and of course the volume control is there up here to here. It's a very simple circuit, and really with sets like this, you know, once you find your way around it, you don't really need to do anything like for manual, because you really don't need it. Again, it's battery mains. I'm going to run it here off the mains because it's probably cheaper than batteries. It's not going to be on very long, and it's not going to be something I'm likely to use, but the people who collect these sort of things now, so that's okay. So that goes there.
For all sorts of reasons, whether it's around pornography or alcohol or whatever it might be. I mean, can we just look at those now and just think they've been a complete waste of time?
It's not science, and I think...
Well, that's medium wave for you, which is not terribly good. Long wave. Not doing much. That should be Radio 4 still, by the way, and I know it's going well either this year or next year, but Radio 4 should be there on the dial, but it's not. So, and the speaker, by the way, don't seem to be very much bass on the speaker for various reasons. So we'll take this thing apart and have a quick look at what's going on. I noticed you've got 2 or 3 electrolytics on this, which might well be past their best, as we say, because this is about 50 years old now, and the fact that it's working at all actually is good in a way. It says here on the back, by the way, it says that disconnect power plug before you remove this cover. Well, it is disconnected, so this comes off here like that, like that. Like that, and we'll have a little look inside and see what and you can see what's where. Yeah. Well, to get it apart, that's off, and it says here, by the way, disconnect main power plug before you remove this cover to prevent electric shock. Ooh. If you find the radio set not working, check and replace the batteries before you send for repairing. Where are you going to send it? Before servicing to qualified service personnel. Rather leave me out that. But anyway, that's the inside of it. Now, yes, I've seen these before, and they do tend to have, shall we say, issues with them. So what we do, take the front knobs off if they'll come, which they've got to in this case, you know. So take the front knobs off, take the screws off, and then of course it'll that's one, okay, fine. That's two, and the language and the wave gain switch is this one here, which I'll put onto medium wave before I try and That one's on tight, isn't it? By the way, they did seem to be, these two did seem to be very loose, especially the tuning one, which is something which I think may be rather important to us. These are not actually meant to be repaired, despite what they say, but well, it's here, it's not working, so let's repair it. And with these sets, with your boards like this one, the biggest problem, now I've got this out, it's almost completely stopped working. So first thing you do is have a feel around on both sides of the board and see if there's anything which might lead it to do, and say what it's doing. This is working, but it's very, very, very quiet. Very, very quiet, in fact. Volume control actually works on this, as you've just seen, but unfortunately it doesn't want to do anything else, you know, like work, for example. So at this point I don't really know. But one thing I will say, these thin capacitors, they do go short circuit, they do generate problems, because everything on this radio is cheap as they come. So it's obviously got problem somewhere, where the ones I don't really know, but I'm fairly sure this is the 8-foot stage that's at fault here. Sometimes a simple fault like this can be a bit of a problem. It wasn't the 8-foot transistors, it was a resistor which fed them, which was going to make the open circuit, so now it's...
But Archie Gray is an exceptional young talent. He can hold his head up high, because he's been brilliant. Even young Spencer.
That is a lot better than it was.
So exposed, and what...
You can hear it for one thing. But now, you've probably got...
Dance around the subject of, are you going to change anything? And it reacts like the question.
It looks as though there's something up with the tuning itself. At one end it's fine, at the other end it doesn't seem to do very much. So what I'm going to do at this stage, therefore, is I'm going to check that all this is okay in here, and give, with these you can't just just put switch clean in them. You can't. It'll knacker the veins, knacker the veins inside. So you don't do it. Okay, you just don't. So what I'll do, I'll have a quick look round it, and if of course it does actually need anything like that, well, it's probably not going to get it, because I doubt I've got anything suitable to go in there. If I have, then no trouble, but if I haven't, well, this will stay as it is. It's working, but as I said before, sometimes a set like this of this type, you know, yeah, they work. And this one worked actually without capacitor being changed as well, which is quite surprising. But have a look around here and see what any reason why it could be stopping. If there is, I'll sort it. If not, well, it's probably going to be the volume, the tuning control.
Well, football's about getting 3 points and winning a football match.
And of course, I've also taken out the main side of it, because I'm not happy with it on this, because even with the set plugged in and switched off, the main's going through it. It goes to the mains transformer, the diodes, before it goes to volume control, which is not very good. So this might become a battery model as a result of that, but that I'll look at and see if there's any way around that. I don't think there is, but if there is, we'll do it. And now we've come to the end of our trip into real horror of 70s nasty radios. But
players there by Edward's not good enough, are you not good enough,
to
name but two, and
now,
we're relying too heavily.
in this particular case here, there was a resistor open circuit intermittently, so I changed that. It was not 0.5 ohm, which I've not got, so I got 2 1 ohms in and put them in parallel, one above the chassis, one below. So the 8+ stage on this is now working. It's the kind with the with 2 transistors in push pull. Very basic. These very basic. If you need help with these, what you do is go online and you look for the circuits from textbook, because that's all these are. Okay, trust me, that's all these are. This one, there was a problem with the tuning capacitor inside. I've not got one for it. I've improved it as much as I can, but it's still not right. But you know, better than it was. A couple of caps have been changed as well, so it's a bit better on the bass side. Just okay. But really, a set like this, yeah, I fix them out of love and devotion, really. You know, for all things radio. But a set like this, I shan't be using it very much, if at all. But it's working now, and that's it really. So that's it for this episode of Steve Pendlebury's Vintage Radio Long Stay Workshop. 3 of these sets now are working. There's that one. There's that, and there's the other one as well, which is here. It's this thing. So there you are. That's 3 working but rather doubtful quality radios for the sort of week I've had done it. And so I'll see you soon. And so next time I'll have something hopefully a little bit better to look at in here. But until then, goodbye, take care, be faithful to your God, whoever he is, etc, etc, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
No PFR deduction though, Nick, this week. I mean, that must have come as a, some sort of positive.
That was a huge positive. It was a real we didn't expect